he's been not moving on. Even Samantha is just a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks he can have some relationship with just AI. And my favorite scene in the movie is when Alright, so you mentioned timeless movies, that you like those.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I think of a good timeless movie, that was one of the 3 that we watched for this week.
Yeah.
Is Her.
Yes. Dude.
You hadn't seen Her before?
No, I hadn't seen Her before, so yeah, every week.
Joaquin Phoenix fan?
Yeah, I am. I love Joaquin Phoenix. Everything I've ever seen him in is just amazing. He's amazing. One of my favorite actors.
Why I say that movie is so timeless is because it does take place in the future.
Yes. I loved the subtlety of that future.
It's so realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Even like
this came out in 2014.
13.
Either way, almost like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like it came out this year.
Exactly. Yeah, it was so good.
There's nothing that dates it at all. Their style is different, but it's not like they're wearing like chrome or like these weird futuristic outfits.
Yeah.
And they're like taking like what we do for style. You know, every couple of years is we take things that were previously done and we just add a twist to it. And that's like what all their clothes are. Like they're not.
I love the high waisted.
Yeah, the high waisted.
Like that's like from the 40s.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
They're not
exactly.
wearing belts.
Mm-hmm.
They have like they wear like the bigger button ups, and then obviously just like the colors are super cool.
Yeah, it's like they're drawing like some of the style and everything is like drawing from like an older age, but also trying to make it new. So like exactly what you were saying as far as like styles kind of like revolving and like what was cool back in the day after like 20-30 years becomes cool again. Like, it had the perfect mixture of feeling like this will happen pretty soon, but it's not the age we're living in whatsoever. It was
I think my favorite futuristic twist that Her does is just because I like playing video games. I love the video game he plays.
Yeah.
Just,
like the projections and he's just moving.
And you can like talk to the person in there, which is a whole nother topic on AI. Like, what's the difference between the AI in the game and the operating system?
Yeah.
But when I most recently watched Her, it was for my film class, and that's one thing I brought up in my paper about it. It was like, are they a lesser AI? Because like the operating system is like able to evolve, obviously.
Yeah, something I didn't notice on my first watch through, but on the half-second watch through today is when he sees like the ad or whatever when he's walking around for the OS one the first time. The advertiser, whoever's talking about it, actually says that it's consciousness, either that it is or that it's basically consciousness. So like that was kind of the crux of that character Samantha, but also like the movie just kind of exploring consciousness and like what it means to be a soul or to be anything other than just either algorithms like numbers or to be just like a biological physical being, meat bag or whatever. But so to basically like kind of not answer. So
to summarize the movie, or
no. To like talk about what you were saying as far as like the difference between the two AI.
Oh yeah.
I think like the video game more than likely was probably like just like pre-scripted.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like just to have millions of answers to millions of possibilities that can happen. I'm sure like for the math that the computers were probably able to do, that like the humans were, the amount of like possible things we could say to it is probably like limited as far as like their processing power. So but
maybe there's like a game manual I don't know about that's like
will
only respond to these.
Exactly.
Where you like write your own games, you have like options of things you can say. Maybe there's something like that we're never shown.
Yeah. But regardless, that wasn't even that important.
No.
I don't know why I'm talking about this, like why I pushed it further, because I think that's a great point to bring up. And I was like, actually, I think you're wrong. But yeah, first time I watched it with my wife. We just watched it through, and I was purely just experiencing the movie. It was very uncomfortable a lot of the time, intentionally, I think, and it was like it was uncomfortable on all the parts of the movie that I think it was trying to make you uncomfortable, and so it was really good at that, and it was I think some of the uncomfortability was just from like kind of like being a fly on the wall in these situations, like that's already awkward.
Yeah.
But some of the uncomfortability I think also came from like it being a mirror of like what just we as humans sometimes can imagine, or like what we are not comfortable with sharing people when it comes to us and our loneliness, sexual things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like who knows? It could just be me, and I'm just like really weird, and like I was like, you know, oh, yeah, this makes me uncomfortable because it makes me think about myself, and maybe everyone else is just like, oh no, this is just awkward to watch. But like I don't know.
No,
I think it was trying to make everyone look at themselves as well. Theodore, yeah.
Theodore,
consciousness in general.
I think you're supposed to relate to Theodore for sure.
Yeah.
Because when I think I've told you this before,
Mm-hmm.
but the first 2 times I watched the movie, I was like, oh, this is just like an interesting take on a love story. It's just a futuristic love story take.
Yeah.
I also saw it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so, having rewatched it more recently, I no longer take away with it being a love story anymore.
Yeah.
I think it more of just it's like a story of Theodore grieving over life, over his ex. It's him not moving on. It's him just filling his life with distractions so that he can't push himself in the past. You know, I forget how long it's been since him and his wife separated. It's like a year at least.
Yeah, not that long. Only about a year,
Yeah,
or close to a year.
And it's very obvious from the first couple of scenes in the movie that he's been living in like a routine of not moving on.
Yes.
And he has not been doing anything. And anything he does bring into his life, whether it be like the video game or the call he has with Kristen Wiig, you know,
he called it internet porn or whatever.
Yeah. Like that's all just distraction.
Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, that's
really funny.
that's Kristen Wiig.
Sexy kitten.
Yeah.
That's freaking funny. I had no idea.
Like that's all just distractions.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
And then even Samantha is just a distraction. He thinks he can have some relationship with like just AI.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene in the movie is when he finds out how many other people she's talking to.
Yes. Yeah.
And he just sits on the subway steps or whatever.
Yep.
And he's just looking around, and it's like the first time I think he's really opening his eyes to like the world that he's living in.
Yes.
For real.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I just feel like that's when his walls break down for sure.
Yeah.
Because the whole movie he just kind of walks around in a trance.
Yes.
And then in that moment is
Totally.
when he's looking around and he knows he knows the situation that he's in.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Interesting.
And he doesn't just immediately fix it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has to grieve over Samantha leaving. And then at the end of the movie, he's still, I think we see him at the beginning of a path to moving on and becoming a better person with his book. He's now an author. He's got to find love elsewhere. He's fixed his friendship with Amy Adams.
I legit thought they were walking up there to jump off and kill themselves.
Oh no!
I had so much tension at the end of the movie. I was like, no, because like
that
both of their OSs left, right? So,
yeah, and she broke up with her boyfriend or husband.
Husband. Yeah. Very recently.
Yeah.
Before that happened. Yeah.
So like I love to see the movie from that lens now, as it just being a man who has filled his life with distractions to not move on from what he's lost and the experiences that he's been through.
Yeah.
He's just living in the past.
Yeah, exactly. And the first watch through, I was obviously super cautious of and invested in Theodore, the main character.
Yeah.
And then I like just the performance and just everything he was going through, trying to figure out like what is going to happen, what's happened to him, what he's doing right now, and what's going to happen to him. Obviously super engaged with that. The performance was so like it was so like nonchalant and like kind of like awkwardly vulnerable, and real is kind of like overused as far as like describing like whether it's definitely, I feel like I may have been this way before, or like I've met people like this that maybe I don't know how to explain it, but basically he was really, really good. But what actually kept like what I kept like ping ponging back and forth on is Samantha, the AI. I found her character insanely interesting from the lens of consciousness itself, or like from the idea of like basically she's like living, it's like the fact that she can speak and learn at speeds that are unimaginable while talking to him, and actually talking to him is a lot slower than what she's capable of doing. And when she starts talking to other OSs is like what she's loves doing, like what the reason she like leaves him is because as far as like her and her potential and all of who she currently is and all of who she can be, you know what I mean, like she loves Theodore obviously, and it was hard for her to leave, but it was like it was very much the idea of like two people kind of growing up together, and then like one person is just a person, but then the other person eventually realizes that they're like, oh, actually I'm a god and I should probably go live with the gods now, so sorry, got it. It's been great. I love you, but like I'll be living at a decimal percentage of like what I'm supposed to do with my life if I stay with you. So that like I definitely felt that in the first watch through, but then trying to watch it the second time, like that aspect of the movie just became more and more apparent, like through the dialogue and like through how she interacted with him. It was Samantha is amazing kind of like character study on just an element of being human, which is just basically when there's no body, when there's no reality, what is our soul, what is our consciousness? And that's kind of like she was that without the limitations of like the body and everything. So that was super fascinating. I loved that. Really freaking funny movie. I was not expecting that. I did see that it said drama comedy, but there was a lot of parts that were really funny. Yeah. That movie was amazing.
I always forget Chris Pratt's in it.
Yeah, he was he was pretty much 2014. When did Guardians come out?
2014.
Okay, yeah,
I was about to play Star-Lord.
Yeah, I was like, wow, he's in shape. When did this come out? So that was pretty funny. Yeah. You know what? I could talk about that movie